Hey, we're at Lodgewood this morning looking at one of the Matchlocks that's about to be shipped out to a customer. I'm going to give you a couple of pointers and safety tips on shooting these guns. We see a lot of misuse of them on videos. This particular musket is a Dutch piece from about 1600 to 1640 time period, built by a local maker. A couple things about Matchlocks that are important to know if you look at them or get one. You want one that has some play in the mechanism. You want them to move smoothly. You don't want to have something that is tough to pull back. Also with the priming pan, you want one that opens and closes smoothly with a little bit of spacing in it so that when you collect fouling, there's some space for the fouling to collect and not make the pan close properly. The other key thing about matchlock shooting is the match cord itself. Use a pure cotton clothesline or sash line for window sealing. Soak it in potassium nitrate for about a week. Rotate the container of potassium nitrate solution. Be sure you use glass. About once every day for a week. Rotate it so the stuff stays in solution and thoroughly soaks the match cord. When you get done, let it dry. There's no appropriate way to let it dry. Just allow it to dry. Test each length. Make sure it burns properly. You want a really hot coal at the end of this. Gunpowder lights at about 300 degrees. You want this to run at about 500 degrees. And again, a large diameter. Once you've got that part of it, the real secret to getting these guns to shoot reliably is the placement of the match cord in the serpent. And what you need to do is, with an unlit match and empty gun, practice putting the match cord in, adjusting it, and then opening the pan cover and making sure that it hits dead center in the center of the priming pan. By doing this, the gun will fire every time and you won't have to be testing it before you open the pan. So with it unlit, just continue practicing until by eye and memory you can look at this thing and go, that's where it sits, right in the center. Also in shooting these, you'll notice I'm using my left hand to support the gun, but also to support the match cord and leave slack in it so that when you pull the serpentine back, it doesn't pull match cord out of your hand. Something like this. And then with your right hand, thumb in the notch, you would put all four of your other fingers on the tiller, bring it to your shoulder like so, open your pan cover, fire. One smooth motion like this, not one of these like this. Just give it a good pull, smooth, fire. After you've fired, many times the match cord will simply blow out of the serpentine and fall down. That's fine. But if it stays in place, take it out of the serpentine, put it up on the firing line. Never bring the match cord back to your loading bench. Always leave it at the firing line. The other thing I was going to show you, and I didn't bring with me today, never use a metal or horn for primer. And the reason is, if you miss a spark somewhere on here and you were to start priming, you're going to have a problem. We found that using a simple paper cylinder with enough powder to hold 15 rounds of priming with a wooden stopper and a glued paper bottom to it is much safer. If there were to be a mishap with it, it will simply split the paper tube, maybe singe your fingers, but that's about it. So enough powder in it for 5 shots, and of course then you reload it out of your priming horn. But best thing to do is not to use metal or horn flask for priming for safety reasons. So if you do those things, hot burning match cord, learn your placement of the match into the serpent by memory, so that every time you do that, it hits center. These things will fire super reliably. Enjoy. Thank you.